Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the Are You Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. Apologies. Oh, sorry, fuck's sake, I'll say that again. Hi everyone.
That's fine. No bother.
Was that delayed there?
It was just very sort of hyper Derek. Hi everyone. Hello. I just wanted to say I hate the dirty bastards and I hope they get absolutely pumped tonight. That's all I can say.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go. Manchester, brace yourself.
Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the Are You Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
Derek, I'm very well. How's yourself?
I'm not bad. Apologies to everyone. We did say that we were going to get the podcast out on Monday, but there was a minor dental emergency with myself, which never ended up being an emergency in the end. So for all three fans that were expecting it out on Monday night, then apologies for that.
Yeah, I know. You told me that you had a wisdom tooth problem, Derek, but I didn't know you had any wisdom in your body whatsoever, so I was quite surprised at that.
Dave, if this podcast is going to start off
Cheap
like
joke.
that...
I know.
Aye.
Cheap jokes. So I had to go there.
Yes. So we've got 3 games to cover. You know, certainly a good performance in one of them, even though we lost, and 2 good performances and results. So without further ado, we'll go down the tunnel and onto the park. So before we do that, the transfer window still is open just now. Not long to go before it slams shut. However, there has been a wee bit of movement, Dave, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's something that went completely under the radar. Nobody saw it coming, and to be honest with you, I don't know much about the player that we brought in at all. But we might get to see him play quite a few games because of the issues that we've got in the team, the now injuries and suspensions and stuff.
Yeah. We've signed 22-year-old defender Rafael Fernandez. He's on loan from Lille until the rest of the season. Apparently an option to buy. He's not played a lot of games for the clubs he's played with. However, he is a big player, which is something we've been crying out for in the centre-back position, isn't it?
It's certainly, as you say, his stature, he looks like, the type of player that we're needing. He looks tall, he looks athletic, so here's hoping that he is good in the air because, as you say, it's something we're seriously lacking. Yeah,
especially at set pieces, which we'll get into in the games.
Yep.
That's all for incomings just now. I mean, the CEO did say there was only going to be 1 or 2 signings, so that came under the radar, as you said. You never know. Before the window shuts, we might see another player, but I'm going to doubt that now. Outgoings, Alex Lowry has left on a permanent deal to Wycombe Wanderers. He spent 14 years with us. He went out on loan to Hearts. He never kicked on with them as much as he never kicked on with us as well. That one, Dave, I'm really disappointed. We've spoken about him before. Who knows what was the issue? Was it an attitude issue? Was it the fact that a lot of people said that his off the ball work wasn't good? I don't know. There was a number of managers, Dave, that didn't fancy him. I don't know, Dave. Really disappointed in that one.
I can't actually ever say that he had a bad game for us as well, Derek. That's the thing. Anytime he played for us, he always looked like a really good player. He always looked as if he that sort of... you know how we always talk about Hadji with that final ball? His final ball was always absolutely fantastic. So, as you say, it's just been a real puzzler why he hasn't flourished and become a first-team regular. And, again, it's one of these things. We can only hope for the guy himself that he goes down there and really finds his form and manages to make a decent career for himself, but it just wasn't to be.
No. And outgoings, Kieran Dowell has joined Birmingham on loan till the end of the season. I think there's an option to buy, so please, Birmingham, please take that option.
I know, we love Birmingham, don't we?
Yeah, don't wish Dowell any ill will. I mean, I think he's just been a symptom of what happened with Beale and the bad recruitment. You can't say he'd done anything wrong, but you can't say he'd done anything for us either. Just a bad sign-in at a bad time, and I hope he goes down there and improves his worth. Couple of other ones here. Rabbi Matondo was set to leave on loan with an option to buy to Coventry. However, the deal broke down at the 11th hour, reportedly because bonuses couldn't be agreed. So a lot of people were having a go at Matondo for that. It's really nothing to do with him at the end of the day. It was his agent negotiating stuff. Plus as well, bonuses sometimes are built in. If you've got a lower wage per week, then you can sometimes build in bigger bonuses to compensate for that. So it could have been something as simple as that. But as it stands, he's still on our books just now. There's still rumours around French clubs being interested in Dessers. Ironically, we'll get into. He's been playing pretty well in the last couple of games.
Yep.
Apparently Chelsea have been in contact about Jefty. That's a really surprising one there. Rumours circulating around Igamani because he's been playing outstanding. Apparently a target for Spurs, but Ange Postecoglou is on a sugary peg there. And there's stories about Katic and Kent coming back to us as well. However, apparently the Katic one has been rubbished by agents today. So, I wouldn't want either of them back, to be honest. Katic was put out the team because he wasn't good enough. Kent, he down tools for the last 18 months. Not acceptable in the slightest for me. The only other news I've got here, Finlay Curtis has extended his deal with us as well, so we'll get into him shortly, but that was a good extension, and talks are ongoing with extending Hadji's deal, which is a big surprise for me.
It is, yeah, and one that we're hoping, I think the vast majority of us are hoping gets done, because since he's came back into the team, he's been a real, I must say, a focal point, Derek. But him, the emergence of Igman, Cherny, certainly those three have been excellent for us, and ever since Hadji's came back. And as we've said before as well, a fantastic attitude that he's had, considering how he's been treated by the club, which we've got to say has been pretty shoddy. For him still to want and still desperate to play for the club says it all, and really finding his form at the moment. So I'm hoping that one gets done.
At a much reduced rate.
Well, that's going to be the issue, isn't it? So we're going to have to see what kind of wages he's demanding. I can't see it being anything cheap, but we just have to hope that something can get ironed out there.
So, we've covered it before, and you said the club have treated him shoddily. Partially true, because I think it was his dad and his agent touting him away. They've confirmed that he wanted away in the summer, and they found that there was no clubs coming for him. So that strengthens our negotiating stance there, I would have said. So, as you said, we'll wait and see. And today, not any players. However, we've confirmed that, and I'm presuming this is how you pronounce his name, Isami Charai, I don't know, is the new first team assistant manager. Comes from Strasbourg. Andries Oldenink left earlier this season for personal reasons not long after being appointed. It's been a bit of a shit show this season, so I can't even remember if we covered that or not, to be honest. But interesting one, that there.
Yeah, it's certainly his background. He's Belgian but Moroccan as well. Got an extensive history of being assistant manager in Morocco, all over Belgium and France as well. So certainly looks as if he's got a bit of a pedigree. And the jungle drums were banging earlier with a lot of talk of feeder clubs and Moroccan feeder clubs, and is he coming in to get that link up there? I honestly don't know. People may be putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5, but I hope that he is successful and maybe take a wee bit of pressure off Philip Clement, and all for the benefit of the team.
Yep. So we'll go into the first game, which was Sunday the 19th of January. It was a 5-0 win at home against Fraserburgh in the Scottish Cup round 4. All yours, Dave.
Yeah, I'll try and zip through this as quickly as possible, because there was a lot happened. But of course, we did win by 5-0 in the end, and it was a much changed team. There was a debut first of all for Mason Munn in goal, getting his first full start for Rangers. A back four of Tavernier, Proper, Nsiala, Jefty. Midfield, Barron, Diomande and Barami, and then a complete change up front with McCausland, Lovelace and Dessers. On the bench, Kelly, Ridvan, Igman, Hadji, King, Raskin, Rice and Curtis. So, first of all, Derek, there was a minute's applause for the sad passing of Dennis Law, which was good to see. He always spoke very, very highly of our club, Dennis Law, when he was alive, so it was good to see that getting the minute's applause for that one. And straight from kick-off, Rangers almost took the lead, because it was a through ball to Dessers inside the box, It was blocked out to McCausland. He shoots from a tight angle and saved by the goalkeeper and out for the corner. So could very easily have been 1-0 up there instantly. 5 minutes, a snapshot by Barami at the edge of the box over the bar. A couple of minutes later, a great ball from Barami to McCausland. He's on the byline. A first-time ball across the face of the goal to Dessers. He fires it well wide with the goal gaping. And as I say, we're going to speak about the great of Cyril Dessers over the next 3 games. That was certainly the worst of Cyril Dessers, Derek, because it was an absolute shocker of a miss. So bad that you actually text me in reference to Van Vossen's miss against Celtic, because it was an absolute shocker of a miss. There was McCausland, it was the perfect ball right across the face of the goal. Was it because it was up in the air? I don't know. He maybe had to jump a wee bit, but I certainly thought a player of his ability would have just been able to side foot that, and it's just an absolute dreadful miss. Do you not agree?
I think you're downplaying it there, Dave, to be honest, how bad it was. It was probably the worst miss I've ever seen. I mean, people were talking about Van Vossen being the worst miss, and that was a shocker from so close in, and he ballooned it over the bar. It did take a wee bobble. It was an open goal from probably even closer. How he can put it out pretty much for a throw-in is beyond belief.
Skill in itself to actually be able to miss that from there. So it was an absolute shocker.
I think I said he'd just taken about £1 million off his transfer fee at that point as well.
Well, thankfully the next 2 games, I think he's maybe put it back on, if that was the case anyway. But anyway, so I've got here 25th minute. It was pretty pedestrian stuff. It was all Rangers, but the tempo of the game was really slow, like a training game. But just 2 minutes after that, we did take the lead on the 27th minute, and it was a corner in from James Tavernier, and there was the man that we've just talked about, Cyril Dessers. He didn't have to move, Derek. It was a perfect corner right over to him at the edge of the 6-yard box. Everybody missed it, and all he had to do was just put his head in front of the ball, straight down and into the back of the net. As simple as you'll get. 1-0 Rangers.
Great delivery, great goal.
Yep. 30-minute, fantastic shot by James Tavernier as the ball's played across the edge of the box. It was on the bounce. He hits it with the outside of his boot on the half volley and just off the top of the crossbar and out. Would have been spectacular. Really unlucky there. 37-minute, Jeff Day. He's played through into the box. A low shot off the post and out on the replay. Keeper managed to get a touch to it. The referee didn't notice that. Referee gives the bye kick. We'll speak about referees later on as well, unfortunately. 38th minute, close for Fraserburgh. Munn, he's slack with a pass that he's playing out of defence. It's picked up by the attacker. He hits a low shot and it's inches past the post, so can't be complacent. It was really, really poor play by Munn and almost got punished for it. Thankfully, that didn't happen, and that was half-time. Pretty pedestrian in the first half. As you would expect, Rangers with all the ball, but not a lot of clear-cut chances. And Fraserburgh unlucky not to get the equaliser. So we knew we had to take the tempo up in the second half, and we certainly did. Straight into the second half, 1 minute into the second half, an early shot straight at the goalkeeper by Jeffrey from outside of the box. But then on the 52nd minute, we got our second of the game, and it was good play in the box by McCausland to James Tavernier. He flicks it on to Barami. He looks up, sees Nsiala racing to the edge of the box. He plays it back, and there's Nsiala with the first-time strike, low past the goalkeeper. There was a slight deflection, but you can't say he didn't go for it, Derek, and a great finish, and his first goal for him in a Rangers jersey to make it 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, just all about shooting, and I'm glad he had the confidence just to do that as well. Yep. So many players don't.
Yeah, definitely. And then 5 minutes later, we got our third, and McCausland with the ball through to Barami in the box. He fires it across the face of the goal, and there is Dessers to fire it past the goalkeeper for his second and Rangers' third. What I've got here, Derek, again, and it's just Dessers again to a T, because he done everything he could to miss that there. He took about 3 touches for the ball to come through, and then he put the ball in the back of the net, where I think it could have been easier just for him to hit it first time. He had to take it, control it, drag it back, and then hit it in the back of the net. Thankfully, he managed to do so and make it his second and Rangers' third.
It was composed, though. As much as it looked awkward, it was so composed by him. And I think we're just predetermined to think that he's going to fluff it, and we'll get into it as well. He seems to score the difficult ones and miss the easy ones, and that is just absolutely bizarre from him.
Yeah. 62nd minute, sub Lovelace, Diomande and Proper all off. Ridvan, Rice and Curtis on to make his debut for Rangers. Rice immediately in the wars as the ball's volleyed off his face at close range. He went down, he's getting treatment. I thought he was going to have to come off. He looked really dazed, wasn't with it whatsoever. Thankfully, though, a minute later, he was able to get up and continue. 75th minute, Rangers scored the fourth goal of the game. This time it was Dessers, the provider. Jeffrey into Ridvan. He puts the ball across to Dessers on the left-hand side. He fires the ball across the face of the goal, and there was McCausland to tap it into the back post to make it 4-0. Really good team goal there. Very good play by Dessers, I've got to say. Awareness and McCausland running in at the back post to make it 4-0 to Rangers.
It was looking more respectable for the level of opposition we're facing at this point now.
Yeah. 82nd minute, Tav off, Leon King on, captain's armband handed to the man that we've been speaking about, Cyril Dessers. 89th minute, Rice with a blistering shot on the bounce at the edge of the box. Great save by the goalkeeper and away. 90th minute, Rice again almost scored with a curling shot for the edge of the box, inches past the left-hand post. And then on the 91st minute, he wasn't to be undone. Cyril Dessers gets his hat-trick and Rangers fifth. And he's played through on the left-hand side. Great ball at a very tight angle and rounds the keeper and slots the ball away for a really tight angle. Accuracy, absolutely fantastic. A great goal for Dessers, you've got to say. Delighted for him, captain's armband and gets his hat-trick, Derek. I realise it was against lesser opposition, but still always great to get a hat-trick. And as I said there, to cap it off by being the captain at that point as well. It must have been quite special for him. And that was how the game finished out at 5-0. So a professional performance, certainly in the second half. It was pretty slow in the first half. But the main thing was that we managed to get through to the next round and managed to score a few goals as well. So pleased with that, Derek, happy with that, and a few players that got a run out also.
I mean, it was a no-win situation for the team because we could have went out and just won a couple of goals and people would be complaining, it was only a couple of goals against much lesser opposition. We run out 5-0 winners and it's only just a much lesser opposition. So you can't take much out of the game, but it was just a good confidence booster, a good run out for the players, good changing of the squad, good use of substitutes. So happy for the players. A couple of things to note though, Fraserburgh fans, that was a cracking turnout. I literally think the whole of the town turned out because they had a big massive chunk of that stadium there. Obviously with them getting a lot more fans in, I think it's about 2,500, 3,000 anyway. So a great turnout from them. And a great story came out afterwards from Tam Cowan, who is friends with the chairman of Fraserburgh, who said that Dessers was fantastic after the game. He came in, praised the Fraserburgh performance, told them he should be proud, and I hope they enjoyed the occasion, and made sure that everyone who wanted a top and signed by any of the players, he made sure he got it. So,
that's excellent. Never heard that one myself, Derek. That's a brilliant gesture.
So the big game that came up was on Thursday, the 23rd of January. It was a 2-1 loss away against Man United in Europa League Game 7. As much as Man United probably deserved their win, I felt we were really, really unlucky, and it was gutting to lose in the last minute the way we did. Not to mention the fact that we had a squad made up of a good few kids at that point here. You've got Man United with a team worth £1 billion pretty much. They brought on substitutions worth £250 million. We brought on substitutions that had just finished their paper round basically. So
I know. It was a very heartening performance, you've got to say, Derek. And in the end, like you, gutted that we never managed to get anything from the game. And especially the way things turned out, as I'm about to get into, because how we finished the game off and the team that we had at the end, it's quite incredible. So, yeah, it was a defeat, but a spirited one, shall we say. So the team, we were all wondering who was going to be playing in defence. Obviously, the likes of Hadji couldn't play because they were not selected for the European squad. So it was Butland, Back in goals for Rangers, Tavernier, Proper, Balogun and Jeffday, Barron, Raskin and Ridvan in midfield, and Barami, Cherny and Igman. So probably out of all the players available, it was probably the strongest team that Philip Clement could put out. On the bench, Kelly, Munn, Dessers, Lawrence, Dowell, King, McCausland, Rice, Lovelace, Curtis, Incio and Hutton. So the bench full of young players shows you how threadbare the squad was. And like I said, Tav and Butland back for the game, hoping that their experience would see us through the match. But there was an early chance, and it's got to be said that Manchester United's top player was Garnacho all night. He was the one that was causing us all the problems on the left-hand side. And it was him cutting in for the left-hand side. He hit a low shot, thankfully, which was straight at Jack Butland. That was in the 3rd minute. On the 10th minute, a great chance for Rangers as Raskin does what Raskin does really, really well. He intercepts the ball coming out of the defence, plays it into Igman. He plays a great through ball to Raskin, who kept running. He picks up the ball into the box, but it gets caught up in his feet. He shoots, but it's saved by the goalkeeper. But you've got to say that if it maybe fallen to any of the forward players, that could quite easily have been a goal. So really, really unlucky there. On to the 11th minute, a great cross to Ridvan, who runs into the back post. He hits a first-time shot, but again, straight at the goalkeeper. Really unlucky there. And we're thinking at that point, we're actually playing quite well here. 23rd minute, Man United, they break down the left again. Garnacho cross takes a deflection to the Man United player with the goal gaping. I thought it was a definite goal, but a great defensive header by Raskin. Manages to get back, puts it over the bar and out for a corner to Manchester United. So really great defensive play there by him, got to say. Corner to Man U that came from that, a header at the near post. It was into the back of the net. I think we got away with one here, Derek. I don't know what you feel it was given. There was a foul on Proper. I think it was very soft, but thankfully it did stand. He certainly was impeded, but I think if it had been the other way about, we would have felt quite hard done to. Do you not agree?
Aye, definitely. It was very soft, but you can't get away with that in Europe these days. Certainly if it was in Scotland, it would have been a goal against us. But it was maybe got away with one there, I think. And
then on the 35th minute, Man United on the ball, a great through ball to the striker at point-blank range, and a fantastic close-up save by Jack Butland and cleared. So really, really well played by Butland there. And we're under a lot of pressure at this stage. 37 minutes, another chance for Man United. Ball to the bylines, cut back. Another shot by the striker. A great block by James Tavernier and cleared. Rangers trying to get the ball away. Only a minute later, though, a long-range shot by Igman. It deflected. Good save by the Manchester United keeper out for a corner. And it was things like that we were needing. We were needing it to go for us to start getting some shots at goal, because it really was backs against the wall at that stage. 43rd minute, Manchester United passing the ball well to the edge of the box, and a rasping shot and another good save by Butland out for the corner. But that is how the first half ended. So 0-0, we were happy with that. We'd made a couple of chances, not doing enough to punish Manchester United, but thankful for some last-ditch defending and a couple of good saves by Butland to keep it 0-0 at that stage. So, Derek, at half-time, were you the same as me, just glad that it was still 0-0, still giving us a chance to go through, or at least to try and punish them, because I was certainly happy at that stage.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to be happy going away from home against Man United and with everything, with the team we put out compared with theirs. Absolutely. Yeah. Keeps us in it. Yes, we rode our luck a couple of times, but no, I felt we stood up fairly strong to them.
Yeah. But the only thing was, coming to the end of the first half, there was a couple of sort of wee niggly injuries. We noticed that Balogun had went down, and also Connor Barron had went down, and unfortunately both of them, that was the end of their game at half time. They both had to come off, so a huge double blow for us. So it was actually Rice and McCausland coming on to play at Old Trafford. So it shows the manager quite happy to put Rice in, and it's a player that we have been looking to try and see a lot more of. Certainly, I thought he had an excellent second half, as we're about to get into. 48th minute, a great break by Cherny out to McCausland. then to Jeffy. He crosses it first time, and then a shot by Rice at the edge of the box, just over the bar. Really unlucky there. That would have been spectacular. Rice in midfield. Great ball to Czerny on the right. He runs at the Manchester United defence, does his trademark, cuts inside, hits a long, low shot that's straight at the Manchester United keeper and saved. Living dangerous though in the 52nd minute. Rudvan giving the ball away in the left back area. A shot by the Manchester United midfielder, deflected and out for the corner. And then it was from that corner that disaster struck. And disaster struck by Jack Butland, because the ball was played, floated in. It didn't even look that particularly that dangerous. Jack Butland jumps out with the defence, you've got to say, and the strikers, goes to punch the ball and just completely sclaffs it and ends up punching it into the back of his own net, Derek. Absolute calamitous there by Jack Butland, and 1-0 to Manchester United.
We talk about it with our ex-players, but I'm pretty sure Man United fans were probably saying, Agent Butland, you've done well. I don't know what he was thinking. You've either got to properly commit or don't come out, and he just done it half-heartedly. So absolute shambles from Butland. It's just inexcusable that at this level. The bigger issue, Ridvan was getting turned inside and out, and obviously his mistakes led to the corner, which you've got to defend the corner.
Yeah. So, as I say, 1-0 to Manchester United, and then another injury to one of probably our best outfield players, or one of them, Czerny. He has to go off in the 59th minute. He is replaced by another youngster, Finlay Curtis. 61st minute, a let-off for Rangers. A ball played into the box. It's cut back, and there's the Man U striker. He hits the shot off the post, and we managed to clear. Man United well on top at this stage. 66 minutes, another let-off, a free kick by Man U from the left-hand side into the box. Harry Maguire with a free header, and thankfully Harry Maguire is pish, and he heads it past the post, because that was an absolutely shocking miss by him. 71st minute, Barami off, who had been pretty anonymous in the second half, you've got to say, and Cyril Dessers on. And at this stage, Derek, this is, as soon as Dessers came on, we sort of played with a wee bit more freedom, I think, and I think it put more pressure on the Manchester United defence, because this is when we started really putting some decent moves together. In the 74th minute, good play, big man on the left wing, great cross to the edge of the box, and Jeffy, he hits it first time, really unlucky, but straight at the goalkeeper. 75th minute, Dessers runs for the ball in the box with Maguire to the byline. Maguire has a hold of Dessers' shirt. I thought it was quite clear. Absolutely nothing given. Did you pick up on that one, Derek, or is that just something that I've picked up on because I thought that should have been looked at again?
Well, definitely. I don't know what VAR was playing it there. It was a clear hold of the shirt. Should have been at least looked at.
Yeah. And that was when I actually thought, at that stage, that Dessers was causing issues for Maguire. He is a big guy, Dessers. He's obviously a handful. And I thought to myself, we might get some joy here. And that's what was to happen later on. But 82nd minute, a tremendous ball played by Bailey Rice, dinked over the defence into Dessers. He shoots, but just wide, possibly offside regardless, but a great through ball there by Rice. 86th minute, Igmane, he's clearly fouled, going for the ball. The referee said there was nothing. The ball ends up at Garnacho. He shoots, and a great save by Butland. Should never have got that far. Eggman was clearly fouled for me. Should have been a free kick to Rangers. Absolutely nothing given by the referee. Really, really shocked about that. But on the 88th minute, Rangers score out of absolutely nothing. And it is that man, Cyril Dessers, who comes up with an absolutely spectacular goal. And I've said it, possibly the best goal that I've seen Dessers score for Rangers. And it was a ball up to Jeffy. Jeffy then plays a long ball up, and Maguire's on Dessers. You think that Maguire's going to quite easily head that ball away. He completely misses the ball altogether. Dessers finds the ball at his feet. He turns on a sixpence, Derek, and then just hits this absolutely sensational low strike, as accurate and as powerful as you can get, into the bottom right-hand corner to score an absolutely sensational goal. and putting us all in dreamland. Tremendous, tremendous goal by Dessers.
Just incredible. I mean, how can he go from the absolute ridiculous against missing that against Fraserburgh to this? Incredible.
Yep. At Old Trafford at the highest level possible. It was a fantastic goal. And I was saying to myself, that's surely it. Surely Manchester United can't get anything. Scoring a goal that good is good enough to win a game. Never mind getting a draw out of it. But unfortunately, on the 93rd minute or 3 minutes into stoppage time, Manchester United scored their second goal. And again, it was a ball. It was played into the box. Nobody stayed with Bruno Fernandes. He ghosts into the back post, and it's a simple tap in at the back post. And it was all to do with the marking, Derek. If somebody had just stuck with him, I don't know if it was Jeff there, if it was if it was him that they should have stuck with him, but he got the freedom in that box there just to go in. It was a straightforward ball into him, and all he did was just side foot the ball past Butland and it into the back of the net. A real sickener at the end of the game, where I genuinely thought we were going to come out with a draw. Again, just poor defending, and a draw is gone, and suddenly defeat, because that was one of the last kicks of the ball, and we ended up getting beat 2-1. But just a really, really poor goal to lose in the end, wasn't it?
Jeffy has got something about him, and this is the reason why Chelsea are sniffing around. He's good going forward. He's got defensive frailties, and we've seen that a few times. Certainly a thing to work on. He's still young. He can take that out of his game, but he needs to be more aware at that point there. Really, really just a kick in the chops, that one there. But as you said, on round about the 74th minute when Dessers came on, we started to play brilliantly. We were getting more of the ball, more of the game. I don't know if maybe Man U thought that was all, the job was done, but we certainly upped our game, and Curtis and Rice more than played their part in this. They were, I wouldn't say they were outstanding, they weren't fantastic, but they more than held their own, and they shown their worth at that level. Just to get thrown in like this when they had no business being there was outstanding. Just gutting to lose that in the last minute, the last kick of the ball there. But I was so proud of the players that night, because nobody expected anything from them. So, yeah, I've got to take my hat off to the team, the players, the management as well, and because I think Clement got everything right in that case.
Yeah, no, it did. And the one thing that I sort of brushed over there was, when Balogun went off, James Tavernier had to go into centre-half, Derek, and actually had one of his best performances in a Rangers shirt in a long time. I thought he was outstanding in defence. He was dishing out instructions to everybody, doing what a captain should do, and really, really unlucky that we got beat, because he certainly had an excellent game as well, playing out of position. So special mention to him, but it wasn't to be. And as you say, proud of the way the team played, the young players, and Cyril Dessers again, who I thought was excellent when he came on, a real focal point for the team, and that goal was just absolutely sensational.
Yep. But it leads us into the last game we've got to cover, Sunday the 26th of January, a 3-1 win away against Dundee United in the Premiership. Dave, an away Premiership win? An
away Premiership win against a team sitting in third, who we knew would be going all out to beat us. It's never ever an easy game there, so delighted with that. I'll let you get into the game. It was certainly batting forward, but absolutely delighted that we got the 3 points.
Yeah, it was a great game of football. It had a lot in it, played like a cup game. As you said, backing forward, very open. We had our chances, the other chances. But we'll get into the lineup, which was Butland, Tavernier, Proper, Nsiala, Jeffy, Diamande, Raskin, Barami, Hadji, Igmani and Dessers. On the subs bench, we had Kelly, Lawrence, Fernandes, King, McCausland, Rice, Lovelace, Curtis and Nsio. So really the first half an hour, we were not very good at all. Dundee United had a bulk of the possession, and they got the goal from it, which we'll get into. In the second minute, Diamande had a shot from distance, but it was easy for the keeper. 5th minute, a corner from Dundee United on the left. A header by the Dundee United player off the right post, back to the centre and cleared off the line by Tavernier. 8th minute, a shot by Dundee United on the right side from just outside the box and drags it wide of the left post. 14th minute, Eggman with a shot from distance, but it was well over the bar. 16th minute, Dundee United worked the ball down the left, cut back across the edge of the box into the centre, a first time shot and a big save from Butland at his left side. And we went 1-0 down on the 19th minute with Dundee United scoring. It was a long throw in from the left, several opportunities to clear. The ball was pinging about, a shot was blocked. It comes back out to the Dundee United player who shoots it into the back of the net. Just poor defending. And that long throw into the box was something apparently Clement highlighted in his pre-match press conference or his interview before the game. So if they knew that was a danger, why didn't we even try and defend it? Because it was just shocking defending as usual, Dave.
It was really poor, and we had 3 opportunities to clear that ball inside the box. It was 3 different players involved in trying to clear it. Every one of them just sort of bounced off of each one of them, really half-hearted, and then it was that big toe poke by the striker. You get it into the back of the net, shocking defending, and 1-0 down at an early point in the game, and we're thinking, here we go, away from home, this isn't going to be your day.
No. And for the next, maybe 20 minutes, nothing really happened from either team. It was a bit of a midfield struggle, a midfield battle. The only one thing I would say is Dundee United were very physical to the extent that we're actually just hacking us at this point. Several times our players were chopped down, no yellow cards given. Diamande was singled out, especially in midfield, and he was chopped a good few times to the extent he went mental at the referee, saying, "What is this all about? I'm getting hacked all over the place here." And he never let that get to him, though, because that sometimes players can get that in their head and they end up doing something rash. But no, Diamande channeled this into something good. He taken the game by the scruff of the neck and he turned our fortunes round. From then on, it was an outstanding performance from Diamande. So much so that on the 36th minute, he drew us level. Lots of possession. Starts on the right side with Raskin, who cut inside. A pass to Tavernier. Pass to Diamande, who turns one player, drives it into the box and hits a shot past a couple of defenders and past the keeper. An outstanding goal, Dave.
Great goal, and we've seen him do it a few times before, but just not often enough, Derek. We know he can shoot, and that's exactly what we're looking for. But as you say, I think that everything that happened to him, the treatment he was getting, that spurred him on, and it was a fantastic goal. Really, really good for the edge of the box. And as you say, it went through a couple of defenders, but it hit it clean and past the goalkeeper to make it 1-1. Brilliant goal.
Yep. 40th minute, a shot from Dundee United on the right, but easy for Butland. 41st minute, a cross from Dundee United on the right, header into the centre, saved by Butland, then effectively cleared off the line, so living dangerously straight away there. 42nd minute, our first corner of the game. It's a sad indictment if that was our first corner.
Yep.
48th minute was a lot of injury time. Ball was played into the box from the right, falls to Dessers, who has a shot on the turn, but it was blocked by the keeper, spilled back to Dessers, who turns the defender, past to Barami, who also has a shot that was saved by the keeper as well, and the half-time whistle blew. So into the second half, 47th minute, a shot by Dundee United, but a weak effort and easy for Butland. 48th minute, a nice ball from Eggman on the left side near the box to Dessers, who has a lovely touch, takes it into the box and just smuggled away for the corner just before he was going to shoot. That was a nice move, that one there. And we went ahead a minute later on the 49th minute with proper scoring. The ball wasn't cleared from that corner. Ball to Hadji on the left, passes inside to the box to Proper, who takes a touch, looks and shoots and takes a slight deflection and into the back of the net. Just brilliant there. Again, having the confidence to have a shot. How many times are you going to get a deflection that goes into the back of the net? Well, there's 2 and 3 games we've talked about there. So that's what we need our players to be doing.
Exactly. And really pleased. I mean, Proper as well, Derek. I mean, I know he's had some shaky games for us, but a bit like Dessers, it doesn't seem to put him off. He does always look confident when he plays and in the right place at the right time. And as you say, for a centre half to hit a shot like that, there's usually balloons it over the bar. But no, he had the composure. He kept it on target, takes the deflection past the goalkeeper. But absolutely delighted with that, and a great time for us to score early in the second half to put us 2-1 up. And I'm not sure if it was what the correct stat was, but for us, usually when we go 1-0 down in a game, we don't end up winning in a match either. So just delighted to get back in and be winning at that stage of the match.
It's funny to say that because I think this is either the first time this season that it's happened or the first time that's happened with Clermont where we've went a goal down and came back to win a game. So,
Yep.
Yeah. 51st minute, a quick break going forward. A lovely pass from Igman to Dessers, who takes it into the box, tries to round the keeper, but the keeper dives at his feet and got the ball away. I'm giving Dessers the benefit of the doubt there because it was good keeping. Could he have been doing a wee bit better? Maybe, but it could have been a goal. But I will say the keeper done well on that one there.
Yeah.
52nd minute, Dundee United with a free kick that was floated into the left side of our box. They headed back into the middle. We couldn't clear the ball. A header towards the goal and off our post and eventually cleared. It was flagged for offside in any case. Living dangerously and just the lack of being able to get the ball away in that position. Several times that's happened in a couple of games now where we've just pinballed the ball around our box.
Yep.
Just do the first thing, clear the ball.
Yep.
57th minute, Igman with a shot from the edge of the box, forcing the keeper into a good dive and save. 58th minute, Diomande with a shot well over the bar. 69th minute, Dundee United down the left, a cross in on the deck, and Raskin sticks out his leg, hits off the post. We still didn't clear it, and the ball was floated back into the right side to the back post, and a shot over the bar at close range. Again, flagged for offside in that second phase there. But again, nearly an OG there. And then after that, we just couldn't clear the ball properly. So it's certainly something to work on. 81st minute, Dessers had the ball in the back of the net after a quick free kick. Barami had run too early, but it was a nice control on the left side. Lovely touch. Sideways pass to Dessers, who shoots it into an empty net. So Dessers done well here. Barami was brilliant in terms of the control and the vision to see the pass. He had just run that slightly a bit too early, and it's unusual for it not to be Dessers offside this time as well.
I know, it was really, really unlucky as well. And I've got to say, you'll find this quite surprising. I thought that Dessers was having a brilliant game for Rangers at this stage. He was doing what we've all been looking for. He was being the focal point of our attack. He was picking out his runs. He wasn't being rash at all in the ball. He was causing all sorts of problems. He was always getting himself into space, and he was really unlucky there that was flagged offside. But he was having a great game at this stage, I think.
85th minute, Hadji off and Lovelace on. Lovelace was meant to come on in the Man United game when we were chasing a goal, but Dessers scored, and that's what changed. He sat down, and I think King came on, which I felt, to be honest, Dave, that was a bad decision. Should have just stuck with the original plan. Yeah. But he came on in this game anyway. And a minute later, the opposite happened because Dessers made it 3-1 on the 86th minute. Barami drove the ball forward in midfield. A pass to Lovelace on the edge of the box in the centre. A lovely layoff to Dessers, who had drifted to the left side, and a first-time shot at an angle into the net. Just such a composed finish again from him.
A tremendous finish again, you've got to say. And obviously, playing with great confidence, the fact that he just decided to have a shot first time, not doing his usual and taking a few touches, just looking up, seeing where he wanted to put it, right across the goalkeeper into the top corner. I mean, it wasn't just like a side-footed finish. It was accuracy, power, and to score for that angle, it just absolutely tremendous. And like I say, it really topped off what I thought was a top performance and what we're looking for our main striker to be. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that Igman is playing just off him in that number 10 role. I thought Igman was excellent in the second half as well, I've got to say, but playing that sort of two up front, maybe giving Dessers that wee bit more freedom, and he certainly lapped it up with that goal. Tremendous stuff.
89th minute, Barami off and CO on. 92nd minute, Igman lays it off to Diomande, who shoots and he hits the left post, so unlucky that for his brace there.
Yeah.
And then Dave, on the 95th minute, I still cannot get over what happened here. Dundee United were going forward. Diallo robs the ball off him, but he takes the man as well. There's a bit of afters because the Dundee United player reacts and pushes Diomande twice off the ball. Diomande reacts slightly, he's turning around, and he does kind of look to as if his arm comes across him, but it looks as if he's just balancing it as well. Bit of handbags from both players. And what does the referee, Nick Walsh, do? Instantly sends off Diomande. Now, we're all looking at this. What's happened here? What's that all about? The commentators couldn't believe it. VAR gets involved, so clearly VAR has seen, no, you've made a mistake here. There's a long delay, them looking at it. They ask him to go to the screen, which he does, and he still stands by his red card. An absolute bizarre decision there. Ultimately, if VAR have got involved and told him to go to the screen, then clearly they think he's made a mistake. So for him to stick by his decision when there's clearly nothing in it is an absolute ridiculous decision here. On the back of that, every pundit who's looked at it, apart from Chris Sutton, who's an absolute wank, they all say, yeah, that's an absolute nonsense decision. They're laughing at the referee for that one. They cannot understand where he's come from there. There was no intent. There was no slap. There was no punch. There was no nothing. The fact that both players were at it, even Clement said, look, give both players yellow cards. Unbelievably, we're the ones that suffer. So fortunately, it was right at the end of the game, pretty much the last thing that happened in the game. It never had a material impact on the game, but had that happened maybe 10 minutes earlier, it very much could have. So quite obviously, we appealed it. A fast-track appeal heard within 2 days of the game. Not only did it get rescinded, it never even got downgraded to a yellow card. So that just tells you everything there. The one thing that was concerning, though, is after the game, within an hour, the SFA had done what normally happens in the media, an off-the-record comment, but the Daily Record actually published it as if it was a statement from the SFA saying that the referee believed there was intent there, or that it was negligible or something like that, basically prejudicing our appeals process. Quickly, the Daily Record taken that off, and we got fed a story, it was an off-the-record comment. So there's the SFA making an absolute balls up of that. The referees making a balls up of that. It gets rescinded again from the appeals process. Not only that, Nick Walsh is now going to be on the VAR. He's one of the assistant VARs for the game Hearts are playing at the weekend. So where's the punishment? Where's anything for this? I know that game was already scheduled, but this is where Column cannot stay quiet about what punishments referees are getting for glaringly obvious mistakes. So for me now, Dave, Nick Walsh is either completely incompetent or he's a cheat. There is no two ways about this now. Either way, he should not be refereeing a game for a very long time until they can get to the bottom of this, because there's only so many times blatantly obvious issues like that can happen. I've never went down the route of referees or cheats, but when he gets opportunities to see this on VAR several times for several angles and he still sticks by it, what else are you left to think?
There's a few things, Derek. When it actually happened, right, this is how much of a farce it was. As you quite rightly said, he was pushed by the defender. The momentum of him being pushed is thrown his arm up. That's all it is. That's all it is. The sheer momentum. What the referee saw, I've got absolutely no idea. But when he brandished the red card, now, I've spoke about the Sky commentators before, Crocker and James McFadden, right, who, if you listen to Sky, whenever Rangers play, there's certainly no one for hyping up Rangers at all, either the two of them. But it was such a farce that they actually thought that it was Igman who was getting sent off. They had no idea that it was Diomande getting sent off. They had no idea why Diomande was getting sent off. They showed the replay. They still didn't know what it was. And then they had to slow it down 2 or 3 times to say, oh, it must be for that. And even the two of them said, absolutely no way should he be getting sent off for that, because it's the momentum of him getting pushed is the reason that his hand has went up. And then, as you say, everybody again said, surely it's going to go to VAR. Diomande stayed on the park because he was so sure that it was going to get overturned that he stayed on the park. And the complete look of misbelief on his face when Nick Walsh stuck by his decision, which I still don't know what he was looking at, because even when it slowed down to almost it stopping, it still doesn't look as if he struck him on the face. And it was remarkable. And as you say, for him to look back at that, it's unbelievable. So I'm as puzzled as you by the whole thing, Derek. I don't know what is going through Nick Walsh's head. The fact as well that he looked at it and he was very, very quick. This wasn't anything that he looked over and looked over and looked over. It was all done and dusted very, very quickly for the use of VAR. I honestly don't know what to think there. But thankfully, it didn't impact the game. And thankfully, it has been rescinded and, there's nothing came of it. But I keep saying the word farce. That's all it was, a complete and utter farce.
Yeah, I mean, again, it leads back to the question, what is going through his mind. Now, was he doing it because he's realised I've made a howling arse of this year, I can't rescind it because it'll make me look bad? Well, if that's the case, the guy's got no integrity. If he's went out to cheat, then, well, that's quite self-evident. The guy's got no integrity and is a cheat. If he's incompetent, then he still thinks that that's a red card, then he's no place being on the park. So this is where there needs to be a root and branch reform of referees. And this is why, again, I'm so angry at Rangers for basically staying stum about this. They've never came out and said anything so far about this. Clement was asked about it in the presser today, I think, and I think he made a remark about something, but it was just a remark, not a proper all guns blazing thing that the club need to be doing now. I know they like to do things, and I'm pretty sure they will be doing things behind the scenes, but this is not good enough. We've had this time and time again. The club need to be coming out and saying something publicly about this. But we'll leave that one there because no doubt we'll get something in the game at the weekend against us, which will go against us that shouldn't have done. But anyway, the games we've got to come. Thursday the 30th of January at home to USG. That's in the last game of the Europa League. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. As I said before, then we've obviously got the playoffs guaranteed. Depending if we win the result and other results go for us, we could end up being in the last 8 and having to skip the playoffs, which would be great, but we'll see what happens. Then it's Sunday the 2nd of February at home to Ross County in the Premiership. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Sunday the 9th of February at home to Queen's Park in the Scottish Cup 5th round. That's a 15:30 kickoff. Weird kickoff again for a Sunday. Sunday the 16th of February away against Hearts in the Premiership. That's a midday kickoff. Saturday the 22nd of February at home to St Mirren in the Premiership. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. And to round out February, Wednesday the 26th of February, away to Kilmarnock in the Premiership, and that's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So, lots of more important games, Dave, as ever.
There is, yes. Starting on Thursday, as you say, there's a lot of ifs and buts. All we can do on Thursday, or tomorrow, I should say, is go out and win the game. Everything else will take care of itself, but fingers crossed it all goes our way.
Yes. So, we'll go into the news. So really not anything much to cover in the news this week. That's what happens when we get our finger out and actually do podcasts, yep. Dave. Yep. So the first thing I've got here is Nick Walsh was not the only referee making an arse of themselves since the last podcast. In the women's game, our manager Joe Potter was given a bizarre red card for picking up the ball when it came over to her when it went out for a throw-in. She put it behind her back and instantly passed it to the throw-in taker. What makes it worse is it was our throw and she was handing it to our player. So what the referee thought was happening there, I have no idea. So if the ball goes out, it's clearly our throw. Our manager picks it up, puts it behind her back to control it. I don't know why she's done that, and then gave it to our player within seconds. That wasn't interfering with play. It wasn't doing anything to distract an opposition player or stop an opposition player taking the ball. That was a female referee in this game here. So it just shows you, what are they getting trained if they're coming away with absolute nonsense like this? I don't know, Dave.
Quite incredible. I had seen the snippet there. I wasn't actually sure what had happened when I first read it. And I thought that there must have been something else in it. But, there wasn't. And it just another really baffling decision. And, after I seen it back myself, you could see how, the look of disbelief on everybody that was involved there. So, as you say, what's actually happening and what rules are they playing by if that's the sort of decisions that they're coming up with? It's incredible.
Yep. And the only other piece of footballing news I've got here is Ibrox was slightly damaged during the storm last week with a small section of roofing on the outside of the main stand being blown off. It was getting fixed the next day, however. A massive irony in that is that, as you would expect, Celtic fans were jumping on the back of that, saying that the stadium was a shithole and it's fallen down, only for it to be later discovered that their own stadium had suffered damage to the extent that their game on Saturday was called off, as it was inside and outside the stadium. Yep. Look, it was high winds. Any property was susceptible to be damaged there, so you can't say about any stadium or any property saying that it's shite. It was exceptionally high winds, Dave.
It really was, and considering that was all that had happened, that was the only damage sustained. It actually shows how well built Ibrox is and how quality it is. And as you say, for them, the amount of stuff that I saw online for them, and then it turns out that it's their game actually has to get called off because of it, is just absolutely hilarious. So, but thankfully, nobody was injured or nobody was hurt, and the Storm has now finished, and it's back to business as usual.
Yes. So it's now time for Festival Corner. My widowed neighbour, who I thought was a rather sweet, innocent man, is getting increasingly deaf and watches his television with an ever-increasing volume. Right now, I can hear him watching a guide to picking up prostitutes in Southeast Asia. Not sure I can look him in the eye now. Needed a shit badly at a festival. Queues were massive, so I went in my tent and shit into an empty crisp packet. It was pickled onion Monster Munch, if you mustn't know.
I think it was one of the big grab bags.
I hope so. I love it when I do a massive shit and almost block the loo. When the flush finally subsides and I look into the bowl and say with my bestseller voice, "That's a lot of poo." On a drunken dare at a house party, I stuck a resident's piccolo in my arse and farted. It made a nice squeak and we all had a good laugh. When I sobered up the next day, it dawned on me that I had forgotten to wash the piccolo or inform its owner. One thing that I will never tell my son is how me and his father both audibly sighed when he came out as Ginger. Sometimes in the shower, I twirl my pubes so they look like Hercule Poirot's moustache and chuckle to myself as I list off some of his well-known phrases. It keeps the depression at bay for a few minutes.
That's unfair. Oh, dear. There are some strange folk out there, eh?
And the last one I've got here, my wife gives me fantastic blowjobs. However, they are slightly spoiled each time by her warning beforehand that if I fart during, it'll be my last one. I can't fully relax. And on that note, we will end the podcast.
Yes.
So, Dave, important games to come as ever. Good results in the games we've just covered. So we will just crack on and see what happens from there.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be, a few players maybe leaving the club and, maybe one player coming in. There's certainly we're a bit thin on the ground in a few key positions, but we'll just have to wait and see.
So all that's left to say is thanks for listening and goodbye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go. Manchester, brace yourself.
Rangers are coming!
Holy shit.